Week 2 of the 4th season of Play More is finally here, and this week we're taking on Muffins Mudkips, coached by Muffins.
But John, don't let the name fool you. These Mudkips, coached by Muffins, they're no cupcakes. As you can see by looking at the standings, they join us as two of the undefeated teams in the league coming out of Week 1. But as you can also see, Play More at the bottom of those undefeated teams with the lowest differential need to start racking up that difference because that's going to be big come playoff time. But John, when you look at the defensive core on the other side for the Mudkips, it might be tough to kind of rack that up. This might be a grinded out battle.
You're absolutely right. Fortress and Toxapex is not fun to go against in any way, shape, or form, and there's a lot of other offensive threats surrounding it. We need to find a way to break through those to hopefully get a W, but I know the coach has been cooking. What is he bringing this time?
Well, as you can see on the screen by what coach is bringing, our MVP from last week, our fans, had to take a week off after carrying a team to a VGC regional, but still a very offensive team being brought today, and maybe the most offensive set is actually Clefable, a Pokemon that Ben was super excited about getting on this team. If you want to see everything that he's got cooked up for this battle, you can watch the extended team builder. The link for that is below. But for now, let's see what the opponent brought.
All right, Mr. Muffin Man, what do you got for us this week? No Chi-Yu. That's actually incredibly shocking. Everything else here makes sense. I'm happy not to see Mudsdale. That is a favorite of mine. But speaking of favorites, Tyler, did you know that we have a brand new Bubby in the store for a limited time to celebrate the BM7 channel hitting 1 million subscribers? We have this limited edition 1 million subscriber Bubby plush. It's only going to be around for a few weeks and then it is gone forever. It will never come back. So if you like this little guy, you want this little guy, you're going to have to get one now. But we also have a 10% off code for anything in the play-more.store, and that is 1 million. 1, the number, million, or spell out 1 million. You can't mess it up.
And speaking of things you don't want to mess up, John, we know what the lead on our side is. This is always a crucial point, and we see the Meloetta out immediately on the other side. Wow. What do you think of that as the lead?
I am really intrigued with that. I'm expecting to see Relic Song early. They probably want to get into the old punchity punch form, which makes sense to me. But I'm not used to Meloetta lead. With Sing? What? Oh, interesting. Wow. The lead blunder policy Sing. A lot of things going on here, Tyler. I was not expecting any of them on the opponent's side, but the math is mathing. That's kind of interesting. What are you thinking about that?
I was impressed because it was the fastest first turn I think we've ever had. Like, we got into the battle, and it was fight, move, click, boom. We were ready to go.
Yeah.
The Sing at first, I think that's something that Ben had thought about a little bit, the possibility of the Sing plus the blunder policy, so I don't think there's too much concern there. I don't think he expected it this early, though. And Meloetta, a Pokemon that is not seen maybe as strong in competitive, but, I mean, it's still a legendary. It's still got a great BST. It can do some damage, especially with that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not shocked with the overall set. I'm shocked with the immediacy that it was brought.
Correct.
Now, we know it has Sing and Calm Mind, so I assume the only other two moves are going to be attacking moves. We have a better idea of what this is going to be, but this could be perfect for us, as for this matchup, if Toxapex was brought, there were a lot of times where this dog wasn't going to be too great. Now, if we can get rid of Toxapex, this thing could possibly win. So at this stage, it's not really a bad thing to possibly have like a 1v1 here. Maybe we lose Blossom, but make sure that this thing can't sweep and it's gone for the game. Like, I just think this works out for us here regardless. Just stop whatever's happening here. Hopefully we can live one pretty easily. And that's going to be a ton of damage. Yeah, I really love this. I'm pretty confused of what's going on with the Muffin Man, Tyler. Do you know the Muffin Man?
I don't. I wish I did, because I'd be asking him right now what's going on.
Yeah, but that lives on Drury Lane.
I know where he lives, okay? I couldn't get a letter there that fast. I'd have to text him or send him back. I don't know what state that's in either. Nobody ever says the state or the country.
Yeah, that's a good point. That is a really good point. And that's a dead Meloetta. And the first kill of the season for our first overall pick. People were questioning how we got this dog. But it's nice to finally see it on the kill board, you know? Pretty good. Tyler, pretty good.
Well, especially in this battle, too, where Ben was very upfront with us. We're bringing the dog to this battle, but don't expect it to be the star of the show.
Yeah.
It is here more so than anything to be the defensive Pokemon that its stats would tell you it is.
Yep.
And I think for everybody involved, getting a kill with it is just the cherry on top.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, this Pokemon right here is why, you know, we didn't have the highest expectation for, you know, Shield Doggo, Blossom, the star of the team. Maybe not the show today. We can't say enough good things about Blossom the dog. But it is kind of interesting to see Ben just say, hey, screw it. Let's get something in for free, or get it in safely, I should say. Let's just set up and see what we can do. I do really like that, especially with the infestation. Not going to make any bad decisions. The fact that we got one kill with this thing is already a big win. So now, hopefully we can just get some solid damage on the Toxapex and then bring in the right Pokemon after. So
Ben is fully expecting this to be a Rocky Helmet Toxapex.
Yeah.
So he pretty much knows whatever happens here, Doggo gone. I also think the expectation is they then recover. But if that all happens as planned, then Ben has sacrificed a Pokemon he knew more than likely would get sacrificed anyways. And now you have all the information to confirm that this Toxapex is exactly what you thought it was going to be coming in.
Yeah, absolutely. And now we have, Darkrai. Set up a substitute. Start Will-O-Wisping the team. And one of the special attackers on the opponent's side is gone, so it's going to be even more free to just Will-O-Wisp about. No Chi-Yu. Once again, that's crazy. So, I mean, we can really just Will-O-Wisp anything. We're going to go over the sub. They probably can't break it. And then they are in a really, really bad spot, Tyler. It is way worse for them to have lost Meloetta than us to have lost the Shield Dog. So, pretty fantastic start, all things considered.
It's such a weird thing to say when that's our number one overall pick, but that's what this team is able to do in a draft that has such stronger Pokemon, to where even later down the board, you can afford to build your win conditions around other Pokemon that aren't necessarily your best. And I think we're going to see throughout this season 5, 6, 7 of these Pokemon relied on in different spots to be that win condition for us, to where it's never just, if this Pokemon or this Pokemon can't get it done, we have no shot. We have so many options on this team, especially this week, with as offensive of a lineup as we have.
And what I really, really love is just the combination of Darkrai and Blossom. That is, I'm going to ignore it. It didn't happen. Let's just pretend it didn't happen. Let's keep moving on. But I just really love that both of these Pokemon can function in a somewhat similar way. But one of them's on the special side, one's on the physical side. Sure, you got rid of Blossom, but now you gotta deal with Blackbeard, and Blackbeard is furious. So angry that it can't see straight and is missing moves, which isn't ideal. But we're gonna be able to get up a sub. I'm pretty confident that it is gonna take 2 moves from the Toxapex to break this sub. But now we are, we're a little behind, which is not perfect. And, the coach has an interesting decision here. Do we go for another Will-O-Wisp, or do we just start firing off attacking moves and kind of force this thing out eventually?
All right, I'm just Dark Pulsing now at this rate. This is annoying because I can get 3 a KO if I get the flinch. Now that I know he has Surf, it's not as important.
Okay, Will-O-Wisp would have been really nice the first time, but the big flinch
wasn't needed. That was perfect. That was a great game plan. Who needs Will-O-Wisp?
Oh,
Who even needs a bird?
No. I think what Ben did was perfect. I'm saying the Will-O-Wisp hitting would have been fantastic.
It would have been lovely, but
yeah.
This team, this franchise, you could say, now coming into our 4th season. If there's one thing we know, if a move can miss, it's going to. It's kind of our thing.
I really love this, Tyler. So here is the situation. We are going to lose our substitute, but Toxapex will die to another Dark Pulse. Toxapex has to switch out, which allows us to get a free substitute off or a free Will-O-Wisp. I assume Ben's going to opt for the substitute here. And now whatever comes in has to deal with a Darkrai behind a substitute, or Toxapex can recover up and has to hit us twice, guaranteeing that we get a Will-O-Wisp on. Guaranteeing that we get the Will-O-Wisp off. But this is amazing. I really love the game plan. We knew Toxapex could ruin our ability to win with Blossom. Okay, bet. Now you got to deal with this guy. Good luck.
You know, I comment on this a lot, but it's something that I really take note of in battles, and I think it stood out the most to me, maybe the most that I've seen over the last 2 seasons, is Ben is so ahead with every play that he's making.
Yeah.
It is like almost instant of knowing what he's going to do. He is playing, and now it helps that he is ahead in this situation. But he is so confident, and you could tell it with this team build, that he was super confident in what he was bringing to this battle, which speaks to the draft that we had. He loves this team, and it is showing with how confidently he has battled through these first 1.5 weeks so far.
And this is going to be a really, really big moment for our coach. Now, we did get the burn off on Iron Hands, which is going to help us immensely, but Iron Hands is so difficult to face, so difficult to bring down. And I'm not sure you just want to stay in and take a Drain Punch to the dome. So it will be interesting to see what Ben wants to switch into, or if he just wanted to get damage off on it, I wouldn't be too shocked. But bringing in Cheeks, I do like that. We were told that spikes were going to be a really big part of the game plan. We could just go for another layer of spikes, hoping they switch out, fearing the Earth Power. That could be really nice. Or maybe just a straightforward Earth Power. You know, I think either option is great here. Once again, we are ahead, and it's allowing for what you just said, Tyler. The coach can make these snap decisions. I think there are 3 things he could do at this point. I like every single option he could go for, and it really just depends on what is he thinking 3 moves down the line. What is going to be the most beneficial, for our win cons?
I think the spikes make sense. Put yourself in a situation where you're getting that chip damage. Anytime they try to switch around, you've still got both of your win cons fully healthy, sitting in the back. All the damage you can get just for their help stat to where it's penalizing them for trying to avoid it. I think this is the right play.
Yeah, no, I fully agree. I don't think Iron Hands can kill us here. So we can still go for Earth Power next turn as well. And I think it's just the best of both worlds. Best of both worlds. No freeze. Okay. Now, this could be Assault Vest, Iron Hands. And that's probably a big reason it stayed in and did that, knowing that we wouldn't be able to one-shot it. But I just really like this, 1-2 punch. Now, they are going to switch here, but unless Frankie is in the air, yeah, we should be absolutely good to go. I love that. No balloon, right? No balloon. No balloons to be seen. Yeah. So, spikes are staying up.
I forget so easily, and I know I can't be the same in this because there's so many strong Pokemon in Scarlet and Violet. How hard these Paradox Mons can hit.
Yeah.
And how strong they are. And I know that Fortress is it's not known for special defense. It's physically defensive. But, like, this is a Pokemon, again, when you look at the depth of this team, it can deal out so much damage. And its main job is just to go out there realistically and get the spikes up. But it's got 120 special attack. And when you're throwing out stab moves with that, you're going to hit people hard, and you are a legitimate threat.
Yeah, but this is what I was worried about, actually. I was about to jump in because I was seeing something in my mind. This is how we lose. I think it's the only way we could lose at this point. Muffins is in a tough spot. Things have not been going well for Muffins with a Z at the end. That is very important. I think it means this is not the Muffin Man. It might be the Muffins Man. A competitor, we'll have to see at the end of the battle when we talk to the coach. For now, they are going for broke. They need to make something work here. And something I was not really aware of, or at least I never put much thought into, stored power is not affected by unaware because it's not an actual attacking move. I don't think it's classified as such. So we got to be careful. Stored power can still do a ton of damage. And Robin's the win con. So this right here may be the game. It's early on, but these are the 2 win cons facing off. I feel pretty good about the fairy versus the dragon, but it is scary.
And that move there from Ben is the very safe one. He is very much banking on that being a weakness policy, Latios. So just in case it stays in, doesn't go for the fairy move, and now gets the free setup.
And this is where being on the other side of the table is sometimes difficult because it's so exciting. We know offensive Clefable. We're setting up. It might be curtains for Muffins. But Muffins is like, okay, well, you know, I got the Toxapex. I got the Fortress. They're defensive. This is their defensive Mon. Psych! Get that thing out of here. Clefable is ready to shine, Tyler. And I do not know what is going to stop this thing at this point.
This, again, I said this before. This might have been, and you tell me if I'm wrong, this might have been the Pokemon Ben was most excited about in this draft. Like, he loves Clefable. He's used it before. This, on the other side, is a Pokemon that you were maybe least excited about in the draft, so this looks like a great matchup just based off that. We've seen it in the egg video as well. It knew 4 moves, all 40 power or less.
Yeah.
But
this
is what I feel like Ben has been licking his chops for this moment. He knew it was going to come at some point this season, and it happening this early is just fun to watch.
Oh, let's go. That is beautiful to see. And you're so right. I mean, Clefable is just a Pokemon that has been so good for so long. Well, since it got the fairy typing, that's a really important, note.
You're telling me that normal type, purely metronome Clefable was not broken prior to Gen 6?
Maybe.
The dude doesn't know real competitive Pokemon.
Hey, if you want to double edge around, yeah, you could do that back in the day. But for now, I mean, the ability with so many powerful Pokemon on all of the teams we're going to face, they have to be ready for unaware. The fact that we can set up in their face while also scaring out setup Pokemon is so unbelievably good. I mean, I just love so much how this thing functions. It's tanking hits like nothing. This set, obviously, we can't bring this specific set week after week after week, but it completely shut down our opponent's win con, forcing them to switch and pretty much guaranteeing us that win. They had to stay true to it. They had to store power and try to get us out of there.
And I am literally going to heal stall until he's perfectly in range.
But at this point, especially with that burn on the Iron Hands, I mean, this has just been, a clinic put on by our coach. The prep was so freaking good. Every single thing worked out. And the thing that wasn't supposed to work out because of Toxapex ended up working out because of that really nice, lead matchup with the Meloetta. It's great to be a Play More fan right now. There is still 2 Pokemon. I could be eating my shoe by the end of the video. But for now, I really love this team, man.
Well, I think, as you mentioned, that beginning sequence was probably the only part of this entire battle that caught Ben off guard.
Yeah.
I want to make sure I note the prep for this one in particular. Not to say that it's bad, other battles. It's not. There's a ton of work that goes into that. So much of what was expected on the other side was, in fact, what was brought. The really only exception there was no Chi-Yu, which is a big part of the game plan. It's big to have to adapt around that. But accounting for the sets that were likely on the other side, what would force Pokemon out on the other side, what Clefable would do if it switched in against the Latios, just the fear that would be there. So much of the prep was spot on, and after that initial sequence, which ended up working out in our favor, everything, it felt like every move was not just right, but it was calculated beforehand, and Ben was almost on autopilot from that point on.
And right here, everything you're saying is just proven with this Calm Mind. Being so worried. He told us what? Agility, Calm Mind, Store Power, Weakness Policy, Latios. Making sure that set is not going to bite us in the butt. The draft is what allowed us to have this Clefable to make the Latios switch out. But then the prep is allowing Ben to just maximize this position and hopefully guarantee us this win. Now, if we can get rid of this Latios and get the 5-0 win, we talked about it early on. We only won the last battle +1, right? 1 differential, 1-0. Yep. We were the quote unquote worst winning team week 1.
Worst best team.
Right. So if we can win this with the big differential, that is a huge, huge thing. Long term, it is a short season. But this is the big worry. Early on, I said it was win con versus win con. And we made the right plays early on, and we made the right plays here.
Clefable is broken.
Latios goes down. The Muffin Man may not have as much competition on the Pokemon side. We haven't tried Muffins, which I really would like a muffin at this point. But Tyler, that right there, That is a big win for us. I am so impressed with everything our coach did this week. I mean, that Latios set, that is going to beat a lot of people this season. Love having this draft. Love having this coach. Love commentating with you. And if you guys want to see more of these battles, well, this is just week 2. We got week 3 coming up. It may be on screen right here. And if it's not here yet, go watch week 1. Go watch the draft. Have fun. There's more play, more to see. But you know what? We'll see you guys next week.